So head coach Shawn Nadelen joins us now. Coach, for you, these first two games had to have been really hard having to not be on the sideline. What's it going to mean for you to finally get back out there with the guys here this weekend?
It's going to be so exciting to actually be there with them on the game field. As you can imagine, it was one of the most difficult things as a coach, I've had to kind of experience. And, I'm excited, and proud of our guys and our coaching staff. And, glad that, that's behind us now and able to move forward.
So you served the 2-game suspension. How do you watch those games? Do you have to be by yourself? Like, are you locked in a room somewhere? How do you digest that?
Oh, man, I should have been in a straitjacket is what I should have been. Watch it at home. Wasn't able to be part of the, at the field house or anything like that. And, watched it at home and losing my mind just as much as I'm sure, the parents and fans watching it. And, when the St. Joe's game, it goes into overtime, and then fortunately we score the game winner. I think it was a little bit after 3 at that time, and I was in the basement, and fortunately I was in the basement of my house because my 2-year-old was taking a nap upstairs, and I was just so excited, cheering, going nuts in the basement, and definitely would have woken him up. Surprised I still didn't wake him up with with how much I was banging the table and things like that. But it's a challenge, but it's good.
You got a heavy sleeper then there. That's a good thing for you.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's the third one, so he's used to just kind of rolling with it. And when he wants to crash, he crashes.
You mentioned the win over St. Joe's this past weekend in overtime. It had been a while for this program to get a win after last season was cut short. You hadn't gotten a dub last year before things got shut down. Just what did it mean for the guys in that locker room to get one going in their direction as you move on here through the season?
It helps their confidence. There's no doubt. Our guys worked hard all last year, and we just couldn't figure it out enough to manufacture a win. And took steps during the fall and during this spring so far to continue to really just focus on ourselves, focus on our daily improvement. Not not being so concerned with the outcome. Focusing on that. On a win or a loss, or really just scaling it back into trying to stay focused in the moment and being present in what was happening in practice, in a drill, and whatever we were doing there, when you're off the field and in class or at your house and stuff. Just continuing to emphasize that with our team, to take away maybe their thoughts or the distraction of, hey, we just got to get a win, and the pressures that ensue with that. Fortunately, our program has been able to do that, pretty well. But, obviously last year we didn't, and opening up with a loss, the thoughts could steamroll. So I'm really, just proud of our guys. Again, you saw the excitement on the field, when Andrew Milani scored the game winner. I feel like there's definitely a sigh of relief in that regard, but also just, we're just excited to compete and earn a tough win and be able to stay in the moment to do that.
You mentioned the first game against Virginia, and I was rewatching the beginning part, and you might have hit 3 or 4 pipes in that first half. That game, Towson, you guys had taken a lead, and it may have been even more early on if a couple of shots go your way. What does that type of performance, especially early in the first half against a top 5, top 10 team in the country, do now as you welcome in number 1 Duke?
Yeah, we came out, the way we want to, with our ears pinned back in attack mode, and being able to manufacture some good shots, and then again a couple went and a couple didn't, but that's how we have to approach every game and be able to adjust as we need to with how the game's going and be smart in that process. So playing high caliber teams with Virginia and St. Joe's in the first 2 games prepare you for what's next. And we just faced, one of the best face-off guys in the country, with St. Joe's and a well-coached team and in pretty ugly conditions, for both teams to have to play in. And Virginia was, obviously against a very high-powered team offensively and a high-pressure team altogether. So, two kind of different types of teams, but equally dangerous and tough to play against at the same time. So gives our guys experience, gives our guys understanding of what we do and how those may or may not work against what other teams are doing. So just staying focused in that process.
As a defensive guy yourself, how do you try to dissect Duke offensively when it looks like they go 3-4 midfields deep of guys who are extremely talented, and then obviously you've got Michael Sowers and company at attack? Like, how do you try to dissect and manage all that they have offensively?
You got to stay true to who you are, and they have a great deal of talent and experience, but also some new guys into the mix that have experience, but maybe haven't been able to build that chemistry of 2 to 3, 4 years together, working together. So, knowing who they are individually, knowing what they want to do collectively, is obviously things that we're focusing on, but also understanding what we're really good at and what we feel we can do, and then dictate to them hopefully within what they try to do, and then be able to neutralize or attack them in different ways to create some distress and uncomfortable situations for them, and try to dictate some of what they want to do from our defensive play. But again, we don't want to get outside of our abilities and outside of what we'd like to do and try to do, and be uncharacteristic, because I just don't think it'll go well at that point.
Obviously, we know some of the names of guys that have been there for a while for you, like a Brody McLean, who's off to a good start, or a Colby Smith. But it stood out to me that you got a couple of freshmen who are playing some early minutes in a year where you've got a lot of different guys vying for minutes in Chop Gallagher and Colby Bars. What have you seen from those guys and a couple of the newcomers on this roster that have been able to get them into the mix here early on?
Yeah, it's been great. They've come in and again asserted themselves through fall ball practices, and Chop really had to earn his stripes. He was a guy that was going against Kobe Smith every day in the fall when we were doing some contact drills and things like that. And he took his licks, but he also was able to get by Kobe and score some goals. And then I think that helped him. That really helped him build that confidence, as a freshman, knowing that you're going against one of the best defensemen in the country, and you're going to take a little beating, but if you can absorb it and get an edge and keep your head up and try to make a play off of it or get a goal, that's just another feather in your cap to kind of keep moving forward. And it was a great challenge for Kobe Smith at times too, having to understand how to play Chop. And Bars, the freshman defenseman, again, is a kid that's just got a high motor, ultra aggressive, checks hard, really just a student of the game, and it's helped him understand what we're trying to do defensively, and really get himself inserted into our defense early on here.
I'm sure Kobe and Chop are glad to be going against a different color jersey now than they were before.
Yeah, definitely both of them are, and it was neat to see those guys really have that respect and appreciation of each other. The freshman-senior bond formed that much tighter from those battles.
Well, Shawn, we can't wait to see you guys in action here on Saturday on LSN. Good luck as you get ready, and we'll see you this weekend.
Great. Thanks so much.